Dalam seni ku nikmati bahagia Indonesia. Ku ciptakan kembali dari kandungan mahakala. Sriwijaya dengan asrama agung sang maha guru, tutur sabda dharma palasahya kirti dharma kirti, berkumandang dari puncaknya si Guntang Mahameru, menaburkan tuntunan suci Gautama Buddha Sakti. Borobudur candi pusaka di zaman Sriwijaya, saksi luhur berdiri teguh kokoh sepanjang masa, memasyurkan Indonesia di daratan se-Asia, melambangkan keagungan sejarah nusa dan bangsa. Taman Sari berjenjangkan emas, Perlaksri Kesitra, dengan kalampu alam bagai di surga Indralaya. Taman Puji keturunan Maharaja Sailendra, mendengarkan iramanya lagu gending Sriwijaya. Borobudur candi pusaka di zaman Sriwijaya, saksi luhur berdiri teguh kokoh sepanjang masa, memasyurkan Indonesia di daratan se-Asia, melambangkan keagungan sejarah nusa dan bangsa. Taman Sari berjenjangkan emas, Perlaksri Kesitra, dengan kalampu alam bagai di surga Indralaya. Taman Puji keturunan Maharaja Sailendra, mendengarkan iramanya lagu gending Sriwijaya. Cublak suwong, suwongnya tinggal enter, mambu ketembung gudel, pak ambolera leres sopong ruyon delek ake sir, sir pong delek kopong sir, sir pong delek serpong delek kopong serpong delek kopong. Gundul pacocol gembelengan, nyunggi wakul gembelengan, wakul glempang segane dari saratan, wakul glempang segane dari saratan. Gundul pacocol gembelengan, nyunggi wakul gembelengan, wakul glempang segane dari saratan, wakul glempang segane dari saratan. Suwe ora jamu godong telo, suwe ora ketemu pisan gawe gelo, suwe ora jamu godong telo, suwe ora ketemu pisan gawe gelo. Malole pisang, pisangku belum masak. Masak sabigi di hurung bari-bari. Masak sabigi di hurung bari-bari. Mangga lepak, mangga letok, patah kayu bengkok. Bengkok dimakan api, apinya cangcurupan. Bengkok dimakan api, apinya cangcurupan. Jari kaki sintak, dahuluan kan masak. Jari kaki sintak, dahuluan kan masak. Ampar-ampar pisang, pisangku belum masak. Masak sabigi di hurung bari-bari. Masak sabigi di hurung bari-bari. Mangga ricak, patah kayu bengkok. Tanduk sapi, kuli bir bawang. Tanduk sapi, kuli bir bawang. Nang mana batis kutung, dikitip di bawang. Nang mana batis kutung, dikitip di bawang. Ampar pisang, pisangku belum masak. Masak sabigi di hurung bari-bari. Masak sabigi di hurung bari-bari. Mangga lepak, mangga lepok, patah kayu bengkok. Bengkok dimakan api, apinya cangcurupan. 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 Cik-cik periuk pelanga sumping dari Jawa. Datang naik ke Cibok bawa kepiting 2 ekor. Cik-cik periuk pelanga sumping dari Jawa. Datang naik ke Cibok bawa kepiting 2 ekor. Cak-cak pur dalam belanga, picak hidung gigi rongak. Sampai ke Tawe Dolok, dipancung Raja Tunggal. Hey! Cik-cik periuk pelangnya sumping dari Jawa. Datang naik ke Cibok bawa kepiting 2 ekor. Cik-cik periuk pelangnya sumping dari Jawa. Datang naik ke Cibok bawa kepiting 2 ekor. Cak-cak pur dalam belanga, picak hidung gigi rongak. Sampai ke Tawe Dolok, dipancung Raja Tunggal. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cik-cik periuk pelanga sumping dari Jawa. Datang naik ke Cibok bawa kepiting 2 ekor. Cik-cik periuk pelanga sumping dari Jawa. Datang naik ke Cibok bawa kepiting 2 ekor. Cak-cak campur dalam belanga picak hidung gigi rongak sampai ketawe dolok di pancung raja tunggal. Cik periuk belangnya sumping dari Jawa datang naik ke Cibok bawa kepiting 2 ekor. Cik periuk belangnya sumping dari Jawa datang naik ke Cibok bawa kepiting 2 ekor. Tak campur dalam belangnya picak hidung gigi rongak sampai ketawe dolok di pancung raja tunggal.
Thanks to her to
Mau mere dagal kota ende Pepin gisong gasong lele luk erere binha. Mau mere dagal kota ende Pepin gisong gasong lele luk erere binha. La lele luk sila sol mi fa sol lele tiding fa fa rebing mude mi do 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 mi do ge mu fa mi re ele elele elele la la luk sila sol mi fa sol lele tiding fa fa rebing mude mi do mi do ge mu fa mi re manis. Mau mere dagali kota ende Pepin gisong gasong lele luk erere binha. Mau mere dagali kota ende Pepin gisong gasong lele luk erere binha. Manis putarlah ke kiri, ke kiri, ke kiri, ke kiri dan ke kiri, ke kiri, ke kiri, ke kiri manis. Sekarang kanan nona manis putarlah ke kanan, ke kanan, ke kanan, ke kanan dan ke kanan, ke kanan, ke kanan, ke kanan manis. Mau dagali kota ende Pepin gisong gasong lele luk erere binha. Mau mere dagali kota ende Pepin gisong gasong lele luk erere binha. segala kota ende Pepin disong gasong leleluk ererevin ha.
Excellencies, distinguished guest participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And welcome back to the second plenary session of the UG Economic Faculty International Conference 2021 with the topic of digital innovation, seizing opportunities and minimizing threats during and after the COVID-19 pandemic.
In this plenary session, we will have another two wonderful speakers. Professor Kirk Chang, BSc, PGCE, MSc, PhD, Director for the Center of Innovation, Management and Enterprise, Royal Dock School of Business and Law, University of East London, University Way, London, United Kingdom.
And Professor Dr. Obijan Hamidov, Rector of Bukhara State University, Uzbekistan, which is unfortunately Professor Obijan has an urgent matter right now, and therefore he will be represented by Dr. Abror Juraev as the Vice Rector for International Cooperation of Bukhara State University, Uzbekistan.
And our speakers will be accompanied by our moderator today, Dr. Teddy Oswari, SA MMM Ecom, and the session will be hosted by Dr. Matrisha Hermita, MSc MECom. Ladies and gentlemen, and please welcome Dr. Matrisha Hermita, MSc MECom, Dr. Teddy Oswari, Professor Kirk Chang, PhD, PGCE, MSc PhD, and Dr. Abror Juraev.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, and also UGTV viewer, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Dear all the participants, good afternoon from Jakarta, and welcoming you back again in this second plenary session of the International Conference, Universitas Gunadarma Economic Faculty International Conference. And in this session, we will have two speakers,
yes,
right?
That's right.
Teddy?
Yes.
So maybe we can introduce the speaker.
Thank you, Bu Dr. Matrisha, UG TV viewers, and all participants wherever you are. In this session, the second day's international conference, UG Economic Faculty. In this session, session 2, we have two speakers, international speakers, invited speaker. The first one is Professor Kirk Chang, BSc, MSc, PhD from UK, London, and the second one, Dr. Abror Juraev, Vice Rector of International Collaboration,
Bukhara
State University, Uzbekistan. So is this the two speakers very
from two different countries
and
two different continents as well. So yeah, without further ado, maybe we can continue to the first speaker.
Yes.
But before to get
curriculum.
Yeah,
that's right.
We already prepare the video regarding the profile of the first speaker. So please, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the video.
Okay.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, move along to the first speaker. We have Professor Kirk Chang, BSc, MSc, PhD, and what is so interesting?
Opportunity.
Yes.
Yes.
He's in psychology as well, right? So this is an economic conference.
Yes.
But psychology always related,
sure.
and that's why it's my background. So that's why I'm interesting. So maybe Pak Teddy, I know that you know him.
Yes.
Yeah, so
thank
maybe
you,
can
Matrisa. Yes. Thank you, UGTV viewers. Professor Kirk Chang, BSc, MSc, PhD. We'll talk about opportunity and challenge in the recruitment of assembly line workers. It is interesting topic.
Yeah.
I will say Professor Chang. Hello, Professor Chang.
Hello.
Yes, nice hear from you. Long time we not see.
Yes, then we met in Bali 16 years ago. Long
Thank
time
you
ago.
so much. You can here to attend for the conference for UG Economic Faculty International Conference. So I think you can presentation your material and 20 minutes. After your presentation, we can discuss about question and answer. Please, Professor Kirk, time is yours.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Professor Teddy. Good afternoon, my dear audience, and welcome to my presentation. So my name is Kirk Chang, as the audience just said. Okay. So actually, I really want to join the conference with you, meeting with people in the real world. But as you know, the pandemic is not going away, and there are many rules and restrictions about international traveling. For the same reason, I'm still in London, so sorry about this. Okay, the title of my presentation is Opportunities and the Challenges in the Recruitment of Assembly Line Workers. So this is part of the rise of artificial intelligence in BMIs. Okay, so perhaps I can talk about the background of this presentation so you can better understand the main point in my presentation, so following my slide more easily. Okay, so the presentation is actually based on a business consultancy case conducted by myself and the managers in the company. At the beginning of presentation, I will talk about the challenges in recruiting employees during the pandemic. Then I will move to the application of AI in recruitment. I will also talk about the feedback from employees, managers, and in conclusion, I will highlight our discoveries and the feedback and propose some suggestions to the managers as well as organizations. So as you can tell from my introduction, the presentation is practice-oriented, and we are very keen to share our experience and the knowledge with the managers, leaders, and the policymakers. We really hope they can benefit from our consultancy experience as well. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. So according to the NHS survey, NHS stands for National Health Service, okay? So we have learned that COVID-19 has affected people in many different ways. While some people are coping well with COVID-19, many others are actually suffering from the pandemic, either directly or indirectly. So for example, people may lose their job, people may have to change their working style or their lifestyle. And the people cannot see their friend, cannot see their family members, and continue their social life. So as you can imagine from these examples, people may feel a bit stressed, anxious, or disappointed about the pandemic challenge. The consequences are serious and cannot be fixed easily. And now let's talk about the assembly line workers more specifically. Many business owners and managers.
Hello, Professor Cheng.
Yeah.
Maybe you can share your slide.
Really? Oh.
Maybe you can share your slide presentation.
Can you see now?
Oh, okay. Yes, sure.
All right. Okay. Sorry about this.
Okay, it's okay. No problem.
Right. Let me share this information with you. So, according to the NHS survey, we have learned that the COVID-19 has affected people in many different ways. So while some people are coping well with the COVID-19, many other people are actually suffering from the pandemic, either directly or indirectly. So for example, people may lose their jobs. People have to change their working styles. People cannot see their family members, cannot see their friends, and continue their social life. And you can imagine from these examples, people may feel a bit stressed, anxious, or disappointed about the pandemic challenge. The consequences are serious and cannot be fixed easily. And now, let's talk about the assembly line workers more specifically. Many business owners and managers, they complain about the high turnover of their staff during the pandemic. They also complain about the difficulty in hiring the new employees. Okay, so these are the challenges that we face. We are thinking perhaps the technology can really help us to improve the situation, can fix the problem. So we propose to use AI in this specific area. But before we use technology, before we use the AI in this specific area, we need to think about what's the nature of the challenge? What might be the challenges in our recruitment? And in this presentation, we focus on assembly line workers directly. So we try to analyze the challenges from two different categories. The first one is more related to the pandemic, and the second one is more related to the method that we used in recruitment. Okay, so let's see the first one here. People are encouraged to work from home. Well, this is the, should we say, the government's signal to the general public. The problem with assembly line workers is they cannot do that. They really have to go to the factory, go to the company to do the job. Okay. The second one is the concern about assembly line workers. So as you can imagine, the workplace is full of machines and people, employees, and close contacts basically are not avoidable. And actually, the managers, they also found, okay, applicants do not wish to attend the interview in person for the obvious reason. People, they are scared of the virus. So these are the reasons more related to the pandemic. Now let's see the method, the challenging in method, okay. In the past, if we are looking for 2,000 or 30,000 employees, very often the company, they put advert on newspaper, social media, website, okay? And then when they receive lots of application form, the managers have to set up a committee, invite colleagues to deal with all the reviewed all the application form. As you can imagine, this is really, really labor intensive. So based on our experience, if we are doing this in a traditional way, For 2,000 application form, we probably need about 3 or 4 weeks time. As you can imagine, such a long time, the cost is massive. It really causes a lot of problem to the companies. Sometimes during the reviewing process, people make mistakes. People may miscalculate or misjudge or misanalyze the application, and the delays can happen from time to time. And all of these activities, all these errors and delays affect the accuracy of the reviewing process. So in our approach, we are thinking, perhaps we can use technology to fix the problem. And before we talk about technology, I think I would like to give you some background of the AI, this technology that we used. But perhaps I can talk about AI a little bit, so can help you to understand how we use this particular technology in our practice. So AI, as far as we know, AI has two major, should we say, the major function here. The first function is really about the simulation. So if you want, you can say AI is able to imitate human brain activities. So this covers cognition, sensation, affection, and of course, the interaction across the three. On the other hand, AI is also able to predict the future events. They can calculate the likelihood of future events. So these two are the major function of the AI. And of course, there are many different types of AI. There are probably 12 or 13 in total. But these four, the four that I share with you, I put in my slide here. Those four are the most popular one. The first one is what we call the reactive AI, and then this has been applied to the fintech technology. So such as the debit card, which we use in the machine, and the company, they can use all the information here to find out the behavior or the shopping secret of their customers. These all apply here. The second part is more related to the limited memory. This specific type of AI is more related to the traffic management or autopilot. The third one and the fourth one, theory of mind and self-awareness, these are more related to the complex behavior analysis. Okay, so in our case, we use the first one, which is the reactive AI. So the next question is, okay, so when we apply this specific technology, what we call AI in management, what's the nature of this? So this is bring the question to the concept of AIM. So AIM basically stands for the Artificial Intelligence-Driven Management Policy and Practice. So AIM has many different forms and functions. For example, the first one, automation-based recruitment and the selection formula. This is the one I'm going to explain very soon. The second part is we use AIM to track the performance. That means we use AIM to monitor all the activity, the performance-related activities. The final one is more related to the KPI monitoring software. So this is software which we can download to our mobile or the workstation, and KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator. So we use this type of monitors to track all the activities. So the appraiser, appraisee, managers and the employees, they can understand each other, exchange information each other. So this makes their performance management more easily and more effectively. Okay. So now let's go to the focus of our presentation. Earlier, I mentioned about we use the traditional way to do the recruitment. We may probably need about 3 or 4 months time to do the data collection, to get the application in, to review the process, okay? But if we use the AI approach, reactive AI approach more specifically, we can use the AI to do everything for us, for human beings, okay? So how it works? So basically, the reactive AI project is involved, should we say, is composed of several stages. The first stage is we invite the applicant, the potential applicant or employees to fill in a number of computer-based questions. So the stage one, we focus on the employability and the fitness analysis. Okay, what's the purpose of this? By filling the question, we'll be able to find out whether this particular employee, this person, whether his or her skill set and the knowledge and the ideology fit to the job. So it's more like a fitness analysis. We want to find out how and whether this particular person fit to the job requirement. So this is the first stage. The second stage, we move to the personality test, or if you like, you can say psychometric test. So we focus on occupational code and the personality analysis. So at the second stage, we focus on their actual personality. The first stage is more related to fitness. This is what they say. The second stage is more related to their psychometrics. That means their personality set, their characters. Okay. The final stage is really about the social desirability analysis. Okay, this is more like the accuracy checkers to make sure that the people, they are saying the right things. They do not really boost themselves too much. Okay, so 3 stages. These are the things that we analyze in the reactive AI. So you may find the first 3 are very complicated. So in order to help our audience to better follow this analysis process, we create this particular chart. Okay, let's have a look here. Let's focus on the top here. So at the beginning, the applicant, they fill in the questionnaire. Okay, they fill in the questionnaire on website or on paper-based. So once all the data being collected, the computer will take over. Okay, in the past, it's a human being to do this job. And as we said earlier, this can take maybe 1 month's time to go through all the checking process. But right now, we use reactive AI, we use a machine to do the job. So stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3, yes, they follow one by one. But the best part is those 3 stages, they talk to each other. This is what we call reciprocal comparison. So they will be able to do a series of computation and analysis, basically. Then, at the end of this kind of computation, they will be able to predict, if you like, you can say to identify the best candidate. Okay, let me say this process again. The beginning, the applicant, they fill in all the information. Then once the computer receives this information, the computer will be able to calculate all the information and produce, if you like, you say, identify the best candidate. So what might be the outcome? Okay, so outcome here is the machine, the AI will be able to show the list 50 to 60 best fit candidate. That means they are the best person for the job. Okay, so these candidates, they have the right skill set. They match what we want. Okay, what we want. So the best part here is the computer will be able to identify the best fit of 1,000 applicants within minutes. Okay, within minutes, maybe 5 minutes or 4 minutes, depends on the complexity of data. In the past, we are looking for about 1 month's time, but now we are actually use probably 4 or 5 minutes. So this is really advancement in terms of HR practice. And of course, as you can tell from this process, human intervention is no longer needed. So that means there is no space for human errors because everything is operated by the AI now. And this is what we call smart recruitment, okay? Working in a reactive AI model, saving time and cost, of course. Right, and some audience, they may say, how come only 50 or 60 candidates can be selected from 1,000 applicants, okay? Here, our view is qualities are much more important than quantity. Of course, you can change the bar. You can put the bar a little bit lower. By doing so, you will get a more candidate. But we do not suggest managers to do so. Our view is we really need the quality employees. The consequence of using unqualified employees, everyone will suffer. So it's better to make sure we only get the best employee, we only get the qualified and the quality employees. Okay, so in a short way, we can say AI that does the hassles, the difficult part, and the managers they enjoy the benefit. Okay, so this is what we have discovered. We found it's very, very good to get the outcome to enjoy the benefit of AI. However, we have also received some feedback from the managers as well as the employees. The thing is, some of the managers, they are not really comfortable about the application of AI in terms of the human resource management, okay? And some managers, they believe AI has the ability to take over the ownership and the responsibility of decision-making, such as the recruitment that I just showed you. In the past, managers, they got a lot of power. They can really to analyze the process, make their own decision, decide who might be the best person to appoint. But right now, the thing is, computer take it over. Computer will do everything for managers. So in a way, managers, they feel they are sidelined. So they are not really exercising their influence in this process. So some managers, they are not really comfortable about this. So they also believe AI compromise their job roles and affect their influence in the teams, in the organization. And they have some concern about this. They worry about AI may probably affect their career opportunities. And really, some managers, they just feel very negative about application of AI. So now let's move to the eyes of employees. And again, some employees, they have very, very different views about the application of AI. To some employees, they believe AI has an ability to replace human labor, that means themselves, okay? And the AI may imply the likelihood of job replacement. And the AI really, they develop a negative feeling about the AI because they fear they will lose their job. They think AI may kind of compromise their job opportunity. And because of this, they do not really feel satisfied in the workplace. Okay. So right now, we have received some concerns from the managers as well as the employees. Okay, the question is, how do we analyze the concerns? What might be the implication of those concerns? So in order to further analyze the concerns, we use a theory of emotion. Okay, we borrow these ideas from Professor Daniel Alvarez in 1991. We would like to use this particular theory to further analyze the concern from managers and employees. I know the audience is going to say, why do we focus on emotion? Well, emotion is one of the strongest drivers to enhance positive job experience, better well-being, and higher performance in the workplace. So this is why we rely on this particular theory. So the center of the emotion theory is appraisal, or if you like, you can say comparison. So according to the theory, before emotion occurs, people make an automatic and often unconscious assessment of what is happening and what it may be for them or those they care about. So the appraisal actually they include 5 different dimensions, or you can say the things. So this include anger, fear, sadness, disgust, and happiness. And jointly, these things, they form the emotion. Okay. So now let's use the theory to further interpret the concern from managers and the employees. Okay. So this chart on your left-hand side, you can see these are the views from the employees and the managers. And in the middle is the analysis part. And on your right-hand side, these are the links to the emotion, okay? So let's just pick anyone from the middle from the chart. Let's say the first one here. The first one is AI may imply triggers of negative emotion at the individual level. Let's see the first point. AI has an ability to replace human labor in mechanic and routine tasks of a job, such as manual and non-heuristic duties. Okay, so when employees they have those kind of concerns, then we can find these concerns will be able to trigger an emotion. More specifically, this will be linked to the fear and anger following the theory. Okay, let's use the same thing to the manager side. Again, let's pick up the second one here. AIM may imply triggers of negative, should we say, emotion at the manager's level. So let's focus on the second point. AI may compromise the manager's job role and affect their influence in the team and the organization. And again, following the theory of emotion, we can link this particular concern to a specific triggers of emotion, such as the fear, anger, and the sadness. Okay. So what might be the conclusion? Well, as we all know, AI is great. AI can bring a lot of benefit to the workplace, help managers in their practice, help employees to improve their performance. However, AIM may imply diverse triggers of negative emotion affecting employees and managers. So to employees, AIM may lead to the job insecurity and less career opportunity. To managers, AIM may take over their influence. So what might be the implication? Well, AIM is great, has a lot of merit, and can be applied to human resource management. But at the same time, AI can also trigger negative emotions. Okay, so here is really about the suggestion and limitation. The first one is we only focus on one particular theory of emotion, and actually the emotion can be triggered by different reasons. But in our project, we do not really use other theories. So this is really our limitation. The second one is we do not consider positive emotions. Perhaps AIM can trigger some positive emotion, but we have not really considered that part yet. And number three, we have not really considered individual differences. So as we all know, different people may cope with the challenges better than others. And the final one is the future research is really about perhaps they can use a different theory, different approach to reevaluate the relationship between the theory and the AIM consequences. Okay, so this is the end of my presentation. I know it's very, very short. I tried to put all the information in 15 minutes, and I know it's very, very compact, and only the most information is presented. But I still hope you have got some basic idea about the AI and the function of AI and how we can use AI into the people management. So the major finding that I would like to share with you is we human beings, yes, we created AI and we benefited from AI in different practice in business, finance, accounting, management. The tricky thing is if AI is not properly managed, AI will knock back and everyone will suffer. So this is really the message that I would like to share with the audience here. And here I also provided two basically reference here. Number one is the article that I published 2 years ago, last year really. And there is also the interview that I had with the CIPD 2 weeks ago. And those two references are really related to the influence of AI and how we human beings can benefit from the merit of AI. Okay, so that's it. Okay, Professor Teddy, back to you.
So much, Professor Kircheng, very, very motivation and inspiration also about your material, about opportunity and challenge for the human and management. Professor Cheng, there are one question about talk about the application of AI driven management in the field works. Can trigger negative emotion as well. Some words.
Sorry, I don't really get the question. What do you mean by in the field?
Yes, talk about the application for AI driven management. What are the most dominant application of the AI driven management in the field of work can trigger negative emotional as well.
Right, I think before we respond to this motivation question, perhaps we need to see what we have actually used in the application. I think, of course, AI, we can use AI to understand the nature of motivation. We can also use AI to facilitate working morale, which in turn can enhance the motivation. But there's one thing that we need to consider, which is how people they see AI. Okay, a lot of people they see AI as a tool. Some managers they only use AI as one of the tools they use to understand their employees. But what we believe is AI can do more than that. Okay, these days we always encourage people to think about work in a different way. It's not hard work; it's more related to a smart work. Rather than spending a lot of time in the work, it's better to think about how we can do the work in a more specific and a more effective way. So now with the link this AI to the motivation, AI will be able to analyze people's behavior. AI can be used to analyze the strengths, the weakness of working patterns. By doing so, we'll be able to find out the best way for working, the best way for teamwork, the best way for cooperation. Once employees they know this, and of course they will work in a more effective way, and consequently everyone will benefit from those kind of cooperation, and psychologically the motivation, the level of motivation can be improved. So certainly this is a very good question. Of course, AI has a great potential to be applied in a workplace to encourage people's employees' motivation as well as their working morals.
Okay, Professor Kerseng, thank you so much for your answer. Very, very inspiring, very interesting about the field topic in this session. Thank you so much for your participant, and we will enter for the second speaker. Thank you so much, Mr. Cheng. Yes, Matisa.
Pak Teddy, this is such an interesting topic to be discussed actually, and we cannot deny that about the AI-driven management. It is something that the HR people should be aware, and also how they have to invest in order to be can keep up with this challenge. You know, to know AI. Well, unfortunately, time constraint, but we still have one more speaker, right?
Yes, sir.
This is another speaker coming from Uzbekistan, another continent, yes. But before we goes to the Dr. Abror, maybe it's better for us to get to know him more by the video that will introduce who will be the speaker for the second session. So, ladies and gentlemen, we already prepare. We have one video that will introduce our second speaker for this second session. So please, the video. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, now we shall continue to the second speaker. So, Pak Teddy, the second speaker is Dr. Abror Jurai. He is a Vice Rector
of International Cooperation.
International Collaboration of Bukhara State University, Uzbekistan. Have you been there?
Yes.
Oh.
Sure.
So please, Pak Teddy, maybe you can.
Thank you so much, Ibu Dr. Matricia Hermita. Yes, UGTV viewers, for the second speaker is Dr. Abrov Jurayev. He is Vice Rector of International Cooperation from Bukhara State University, Uzbekistan. He will talk about tendencies in digitalization during a pandemic, and this is a role in education activities at Bukhara State University. Okay, after Dr. Abro give the speech, a few, maybe 20 minutes, and we continue to question and answer. Hello, Dr. Abro, how are you?
Yes, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yeah, nice hear from you.
Thank you. It's an honor for me to participate in this conference.
Yes.
And I want to pass the greetings of our rector to all of you with this very memorable event.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, you have 20 minutes for give presentation material. Please, time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes, sure.
And is it working?
Yes.
Yes,
Now?
sure.
Okay. Thank you, dear colleagues. My presentation will be about some tendencies in this digitalization during the pandemic time, which started like almost 2 years ago, and about the activities that we had to take into account for adapting to these new realities. So I would say the world has gone digital. And for example, if you look at some scientific data, some researchers, and we can say that it took 8,000 years for the civilization to move from agricultural production, from agricultural revolution to the first industrial revolution. But then it accelerated very fast, and it has taken only 50 years from third industrial revolution to the fourth industrial revolution. And also COVID-19 pandemic has brought some new realities to all of the, let's say, our activities in education, in life, in production, everywhere. So COVID-19 pandemic has also forced all of us to go digital. And we, being people from higher education, we see that it forced us to go digital, all of us, from the students to professors, from scientists to producers, so we can say like almost everybody. I would like to give some the newest digital, some statistical data of VR Social company about digitalization. Now we can see that almost 62% of the world population is using internet. This data is from October 2021, so like 2 months ago. And internet users is growing. The number of internet users is growing annually nearly to 5%, or we can say differently that every day 600,000 new users are coming into internet world. However, the coronavirus pandemic has had also a big impact on internet user research. So this data may be even less than the reality in the world now. And as we are already used to use, like everybody, these smartphones now, the data says that almost 91% of internet users are using mobile devices to go online at least some of the time. But of course, the other means like laptops and desktops, computers are also being widely used. And social media users, for example, you can see that it's almost more than 4.55 billion people, or nearly 58% of the population. This data is about social media statistics, statistical data, and it says, like as I said just a minute ago, more than 4.55 billion people are using the social data every day, which is 58% of the world total population. And this number is growing almost 10% per year. And average global user in the world now is using 2 hours, 27 minutes on social media each day, which means the world is spending more than 10 billion hours for social media every day. Mobile statistics. There are now 5.29 billion unique mobile phone users in the world today. And in the last 1 year, the unique mobile users, their number grew up by 97 million. And the number of smartphones in use is growing at annual rate of 5.6%, which is a rather big number. It's also the result of this digitalization of our life, because the smartphones are providing very good opportunities to go digital for everybody. So every day, 1 million
Hello,
new
Dr.
smartphones
Abro.
are... Yes?
Yes, can you operate your slide, please?
Sorry?
Can you operate your slide, please?
It seems that your slide doesn't move.
Oh.
Yeah,
Sorry.
or maybe you can put on a slideshow.
Let me open it once more then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Yes.
And could you do the slideshow?
Let me try. Do you see the mobile stats from around the world now?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, please. Thank you.
And now global e-commerce statistics. Yes?
Yes, you can continue.
Thank
you.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. So, of course, digitalization means like very big growth in global e-commerce. And now some statistics, for example, even sometimes we think that, how to say, we are not that, we are maybe a bit elder population is not using the online shopping very much, because really like face-to-face shopping has some aura, some atmosphere of negotiating, and it's also a very good cultural event. But still, if you look at the digitalization statistics, nearly 6 of 10 internet users are buying something online every week. More people now make purchases while using their mobile devices than via desktop or laptop computers, and you can see that the volumes of global e-commerce is a huge. For example, in 2020, it exceeded $2.4 trillion, and which was increasing 25% compared to 2019. And this is, of course, the COVID pandemic had a very big effect on this. And Statista reports that the average e-commerce shopper is spending $700 per year on online purchases of consumer goods. And of course, the coronavirus pandemic has had a significant impact on online travel spend, with annual revenues which falling down more than 50% between 2019 and 2020. Sorry. And here you can see the very interesting statistics. How many websites are there? This is giving the statistics of from 1991 to 2019. You see on the left down place in 1991, when the World Wide Web project started, there was only one website, and then it became 3,000 only in 3 years, and the Yahoo was opened that year. And 1998, like a milestone, very big milestone in digitalization and in internet world, when Google was created. And then you can see the very fast, very rapid flow of the websites in the digital world, like Facebook from 2004, YouTube is coming from 2005, then Instagram 2010, and then now you can see that the number of websites in the world is more than 1.7 billion websites. And now, of course, as a result of COVID and the result of digitalization, we can speak about digitalization of science. Under the influence of digital technologies, these radical changes in the organization and methods of scientific research, form of employment in science, mechanism of protection and commercialization of the results of intellectual activity had great, very big effect on science. And the rapid growth in the volume of accumulated data for researchers needing new technologies and methods. The scientific community is moving to a new paradigm of research. Very big and significant scientific results can be obtained based on mining huge amounts of data in various subject areas. And now the sciences are actively developing with the intensive use of data. For example, bioinformatics, genomics, geoinformatics, neuroinformatics, artificial intelligence, like the previous speaker explained very good, and machine learning technologies. And of course, we speak about digitalization of education. Can you see the slide, digitalization of education?
Yes, you can continue.
Okay, digitalization of education. Of course, the education world is also has gone into digital system, digital world. Now, if you look at the COVID pandemic effect on the education, we can see that investment boom has taken place in online education market. Of course, we had in the world everywhere we had online education before the pandemic also, but this, as we in Uzbekistan say, and also probably many nations say that from every bad thing there is one good side. For example, COVID pandemic also initiated, accelerated some good positive things. For example, we can see that in digitalization of education. So investment, we can witness very big investment boom in online education market. And students are, of course, interested in studying online. Of course, offline is very interesting when you are with friends, but online education has some positive moments, like it gives the students the freedom to choose the right university, program and format, and competition between universities is intensifying. This competition can only be won by creating a human-centered marketplace for educational products. The new coronavirus pandemic has created very high demand for new learning formats and related digital services. For the first time, big investors entered the online education industry, and it's estimated that the online education market will reach $400 billion of volume by 2025. Already today, there are more than 200 million online listeners, which is comparable to the number of all students in the world. And of course, in Uzbekistan, in pandemic time, we of course went to digitalization of higher education. Also, it was a very big, acceleration in elaboration of IT software. So from March 2020, we did very well and created the needed infrastructure, and all universities centrally and also centrally by the ministries, centrally by the agencies, started to creating their elaborated IT software, interactive services, and everything went online. And many on the slides here you can see some infrastructure development during pandemic, and for example, some of the interactive government services in higher education. Maybe this some kind of these applications maybe not new for Indonesia or other countries, but here in Uzbekistan, with very big potential in science and in higher education, we truly and really started to implement IT in education due to COVID. But of course, there were some universities, including our university, which was one of the leading universities in Uzbekistan by implementing IT in higher education. So during COVID time, we had to work more and to develop more sophisticated and more intelligent softwares. Here, I would like to show you, if you can see on the slide, this is the concept of our Center for Digital Economy and Human Resource Development. This center was opened at our university, and this center is dealing with project management, e-government, some organization and creation of some software for online education. And we are expecting we have the 5-year strategic development plan, and we are expecting this center will provide electronic university components and software for our university. And we opened a human resource management master degree program, and we expect about 50 graduates by 2025. We are providing HRM, human resource management, training courses for interested parties, consulting services, corporate governance, and HRM trainings for the companies in our region. And I would like to make a brief conclusion of the ideas about digitalization of higher education and what the COVID-19 pandemic brought to us. At first, we should accept the reality. Digital world is no longer the future. It's inevitable a reality, and there is no alternative to it, and it's here already. And COVID-19 only accelerated this process. And we are facing a major challenge, the need to make a digital breakthrough in higher education. We cannot stay out of this process of digitalization. Everywhere is digitalized productions, services. So higher education must be in the forefront of digitalization. And to do this, all universities must reach full digital maturity, using the solutions of the leading universities supported by technology companies as the basis. And administrators, teachers, researchers, and students have to learn to work in an online environment. Dear colleagues, thank you for your attention. If you have some questions, I will be happy to answer to them, and this is my email. And thank you for your attention. Terima kasih.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Abrov Juraev, for your presentation. I think the special interesting theme about this session. Yes, it's about positive and negative impacts.
Of
also
digitalization.
how the tendencies in digitalization. One of university, I think, doing many approach and give maximum rules about anticipate how the negative tendencies. That's right, Marcia.
And also, if I wasn't mistaken, Pak Teddy, we do some collaboration program between Gunadarma and Bukhara State University,
sure.
and also one of our graduation days, it involved Bukhara State University.
Yes, that's right.
You are a stage manager, and you know that. I mean, I'm witnessing about the development of Uzbek itself from 2010 and until now. It was so amazing. I'm so impressed about the development of the country.
That's right.
So big applause and also the appreciation, and also thank you, Dr. Abror, for your time and also sharing another perspective in digitalization. And also innovation during the pandemics, especially in the academic scene.
Yes.
So once again, thank you so much, Dr. Abror, and I will apologize because we have a time constraint, so I have to close this plenary session, and then we will continue to the closing ceremony.
That's right.
So, this, is it right,
Yes,
Pak
sure,
Teddy?
sure.
So maybe if you have something to say to close this session regarding the presentation from the two speakers.
Okay, thank you so much for the all speakers today. The session 1, plenary hall, this morning also the session 2, plenary session, and this time. Thank you so much for all speakers from the many countries, and I think it's very, very interesting motivation and inspiration material for the all participants and UGTV viewers. Thank you so much.
And also thank you so much, Pak
Thank
Teddy,
you
for
so
accompanying me,
much,
and we
Patricia.
together to host this the plenary session earlier this morning for the first session, and this later on this afternoon for the second
Thank you
session.
so much.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the distinguished guests and also UGTV viewer, we come to the end of the plenary session, as well as we getting close to the closing ceremony of the Universitas Gunadarma Economic Faculty International Conference entitled Digital Innovation, Seizing Opportunities and Minimizing Threat During and After the COVID-19 Pandemic. So I'm Matricia Hermita, together with Bapak Dr. Teddy Oswari, are signing out, and I will give this floor back to the our Master of Ceremony, Bapak Guntur dan Ibu Dr. Asti Darmayanti. So please, Bapak Guntur dan Ibu Dr. Asti, the time is yours.
Excellencies, distinguished guest participants, ladies and gentlemen, the second plenary of the UG Economic Faculty International Conference 2021 with the topic of digital innovation, seizing opportunities and minimizing threats during and after the COVID-19 pandemic is just ended.
And once again, please give a round of applause to all speakers, moderator, and host. Thank you so much to Professor Kirk Chang, BSc, PGCE, MSc, PhD, Dr. Abraf Juraev, Dr. Teddy Oswari, and of course, Dr. Matricia Hermita, MSc MECOM, for the interesting and informative session.
And ladies and gentlemen, the global inflation, which has increased along the economic recovery, is anticipated to continue to rise over the rest of the year. And it's been a year and a half since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. The global economy is poised to stage its most robust post-recession recovery in 80 years in 2021. Policymakers will need to nurture the economic recovery with fiscal and monetary measures while keeping a close eye on safeguarding financial stability. Hopefully, with this event, we can mark our contribution to the economic growth through innovation and human capital reinforcement.
Excellencies, participants, ladies and gentlemen, escalating to the next agenda, the most awaited one, which is the announcement of Best Paper Award of the UG Economic Faculty International Conference 2021, which will be delivered by Dr. Teti Elida. Therefore, to Dr. Teti Elida, time is yours.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the committee, I will announce the 3 best papers. By considering the related theme and the quality of the article, we have decided these 3 articles are the best. Impact of COVID-19 on capital expenditure by Yozar Faruk Ishak from Politeknik Negeri Bandung. How digitalization affecting employees' well-being during COVID-19 outbreak? A meta-analysis study by Sheila Azahra, Sasa Nabila Ayunanda, and Susi Suhendra from Gunadarma University. Psychological factors affecting online shopping behavior during the COVID-19 pandemic by Olivia Safira Maharani, Nabila Jilan Ulaya, and Wahyu Raharjo from Universitas Gunadarma. Congratulations to all authors. Thank you.
Thank you to Dr. Tete Lida, and congratulations once again to all winners. Please give a round of applause once again. For those who have not achieved this time, do not worry, as we will have another conference in the upcoming years.
And ladies and gentlemen, ultimately we have come to the end of the UG Economic Faculty International Conference 2021, and to officially close the event, we would like to cordially invite the Vice Rector 1 of Universitas Gunadarma, Dr. Raffi Ahmad Salim, to deliver his closing remarks of the UG Economic Faculty International Conference 2021. And to Dr. Raffi Ahmad Salim, time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Gunadarma University, I would like to express our deep gratitude to all who are involved in the performance of this important international conference of Gunadarma University, Faculty of Economics, especially to the Rector of Gunadarma University, Professor I.S. Margianti, Conference Chair Dr. Lana Sularto, Head of LL Dikti Wilayah 3, Profesor Agus Satyo Budi, His Excellency the Ambassador of the Republic of Uzbekistan, Mr. Ulukbek Rozukulov, who gave the first keynote speech, Direktur Kepesertaan BPJS Ketenagakerjaan, Mr. Zainuddin Aka, MM, who gave the second keynote speech, the invited speakers, Head of Accounting Study Program of Gunadarma University, Dr. Imam Subawe, Fortune Institute of International Business, New Delhi, Mr. Saurabh Mittal, PhD, the Director of the Center of Innovation, Management and Enterprise, Royal Docks School of Business and Law University of East London, University Way, London, United Kingdom, Professor Kurt Cheng, Vice Rector for International Cooperation of Bukhara State University, Uzbekistan, Dr. Abror Juraev, as well as all the participants. I am very delighted to hear the novel, significant ideas and plans discussed in this conference. I hope the views and plans will be workable in the near future to outcompete the COVID pandemic, as well as other crises that might encounter us locally or globally. They will surely tremendously help the world free itself from prolonged negative economic impacts of the crisis. They will also bring the new waves of scientific and practical breakthroughs to the existing body of knowledge we already have so far. May these experiences enhance us to further strengthenings of coordinations between our institutions, as well as ever-increasing new participants of the future. I pray that Allah God Almighty grant you all His innumerable blessings from all your good intentions and efforts you have given to the world. Amin. Amin. Now comes the time for my main purpose of my presence here, namely to close the conference. I hereby formally close the 2021 UG Universitas Gunadarma Economic Faculty International Conference, Digital Innovation, Seizing Opportunities and Minimizing Threats during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Raffi Ahmad Salim, for the closing remarks.
Excellencies, participants, ladies and gentlemen, time flies, and Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, the UG Economic Faculty International Conference 2021, Digital Innovation Seizing Opportunities and Minimizing Threats during and after the COVID-19 pandemic has been done smoothly.
And it's been our pleasure to host this event, and we would like to once again thank you for our speakers, for the knowledge shares, participants, and all parties that have helped to make this event to happen. We would like to apologize for any shortcoming during the event, and hopefully this will be our lesson learned to constantly improve our quality.
Thank you for your attention. See you on next conference. Finally, let us convey our goodbye by a pantun from Indonesia. Travel to Java, pass through Medan, not forget to buy lemper.
Now that we have reached the end of the event, we would like to convey our goodbye and see you later. I'm Asti Darmayanti and my partner.
I am Guntur Eka Saputra, are signing out, and we wish you a pleasant day.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.